Molo Sanbonani, hello, how's it? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to this, the Friday edition of the show. It's a Friday, yeah, bo. Welcome to it. My name is Sihle Ngobese, aka Big Daddy Liberty. This is Vuka Nazo, your morning news analysis show where we help you start your news day. Find us at bigdaddyliberty.com, of course, if you want to get in touch with us or if you want to support the channel. Hey man, 100 Rand a month is what a growing number of South Africans are contributing towards the show, helping us build alternative media. Speaking about alternative media, why don't you allow our friends over at the Daily Friend to help you finish off your news day? They come to you Monday to Thursday live at 1:30 p.m. That's dailyfriend.co.za. Now, with that being said, enough with the jibber jabber. Let's get straight into the news. Oy vey. We begin, unfortunately, as always, in the sense when it comes to this racist in chief or douchebag in chief or communist in chief. All of these names apt for the rather red in tooth and claw douchebag of the third largest political party in this country, Julius Malema. That's who we're talking about. That individual who absolutely hates racial minorities in this country. In the news, once again, for exactly that. Going after racial minorities. This time, of course, seemingly that broken clock that is the South African Human Rights Commission. As always, broken clocks are right twice a day. Right in this instance, by going after Malema and the comments he made, and of course, at the Western Cape People's Assembly, that communist nonsense that the EFF refers to its elective conferences. But nonetheless, those comments that he made is effectively insinuating that his party of revolutionaries should not be afraid to kill, and in reference to, of course, to white individuals. Those inflammatory comments, those racist, evil comments, the Human Rights Commission rightly flagging as warranting them taking action against them. Now, before I get into what the Human Rights Commission said about this and the action they're going to take, let me play a short clip, a reminder of what exactly Malema said.
I'll come many times here in Western Cape appearing a court case because no white man is going to beat me up and call myself a revolutionary the following day. You must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing because the killing is part of a revolutionary act.
Yes, that's right. A reminder that effectively suggesting revolutionary killings against white South Africans. Because, hey, if a white person beats you up, then if you don't kill them, well, hey, man, that you're simply not a revolutionary. That's the kind of evil we have in this country, normalized as somehow being everyday political discourse when it isn't. I warned you on episode 54 of Vuka Nazo. Boop, a reminder over there. I warned you that communists generally have a terrible track record of having no regard for human beings and human life. And if you then couple in the racial obsession of South Africa and the communists in this country, they will have no qualms about killing individuals of racial groupings who they simply do not like for one reason or the other. Malema exemplifies that and indeed says as much. And for the SAHRC to now call him out, I don't necessarily have a problem with that, even if I have a problem with the fundamental concept of a Human Rights Commission or even an equality court, which the HRC says it'll take Malema to. What am I referring to? Let me read quickly from this EWN piece, which wrote up what the South African Human Rights Commission is intending to do. Now, in a statement the SAHRC issued on Wednesday, the Commission threatened to take party leader Julius Malema and the EFF to the Equality Court within 10 days. This is if he does not retract certain statements made during the party's elective conference in the Western Cape last month. The chairperson of the SAHRC, Bongani Majola, said that this was one of Malema's statements that they found harmful. Now, in the context, quoting him, he says, in the context of his speech, he seems to be urging people to act, to eliminate, to kill, close quote. No, duh, Mr. Majola. Is that really what you took out of that? I mean, the man clearly says it himself, which is a reminder to the rest of us. A reminder to the rest of us. Be very careful of who you associate with. Be very careful of who you think stands for you, even if they sham the rhetoric of being pro-black, as the EFF often does, or whatever the case may be, for the poor, etc., etc. Black people and poor people should never be associated with wanting to kill and murder other people, as somehow that being revolutionary. Malema is a scam artist of our age, and he has to be called out. Yo, in what looked like a movie or a mini-series director of an action series or movie, it looked like a director had shouted, "And action!" This is what the N4 just near Pretoria looked like.
No, it's a white Mahindra and not a Hilux.
I've got it on video.
Okay. Alright, the two security guards are standing up. They seem to be attacked. Okay, alright, good, bye.
Yes, that's right. An absolute scene of carnage on the N4, a public road, a public highway used by ordinary South Africans like you and I, that had literally security vehicles strewn all over the place, what looked like concussed and injured G4S security guards stumbling away from a blown up cash van. You would have thought, as I said, that it is an action movie of sorts. South Africa in and of itself, guys, South Africa is like an action movie. Breaking Bad South Africa, another installment of that mini-series where, if I read this quick piece by The Independent who described the scene and quoted one Kyle van Reenen of EmergiMed who responded to the scene, said the following. As I said, paramedics responded to the scene near Simon Vermoeten Road near Pretoria to find absolute chaos. Now, Kyle, pardon me, is quoted as having said, 4 security officers had been left with moderate injuries following a cash and transit heist on the N4 National Highway. Multiple security vehicles lay strewn across the roadway, with the cash van having been blown up by the suspects. End of quote. Now, I'll conclude here because we've had this conversation before, but it bears that I should raise this issue again, and a warning I'd raise to you. As we head towards the festive season, I called it an open season, a silly season for these cash in transit robbers, and indeed mall robbers in particular, because a lot of cash is moving around at the time as you and I, holiday makers, and of course people who then take time off, shop for Christmas and other end of year activities. A lot of money is circulating in the economy from consumers at the time, and thus a lot of money is being moved around by these cash in transit vehicles. It is silly season, and some of the most hardened, violent and murderous criminals who are after that money are literally targeting cash vans. I said this once and I'll say it again. Be like me. Do like me. Whenever you see those cash vehicles, stay and steer very far away from them. Do not park near them, do not stop near them, etc., etc., and steer clear of those individuals as they carry those cash parcels, because you never know what criminal is lurking ready to pounce. And when they do pounce, goodness me, the amount of violence that can pop off can place ordinary, sane, sober, moral, prudent, law-abiding people like you and me at very grave risk. Protect yourself, people, and keep safe. All right, folks, you know what time it is. When it's Friday here on Vuka Nazo, we either have a Moemish or loser of the week or a champ of the week. Now, I did promise on Monday, because we missed it last week, that I'll either have 2 champs or 2 Moemishes this week in order to make up. So, who is our first Moemish of the week? Well, that title goes to MEC for Community Safety in the Northwest. That, of course, is a one Sello Lehari. He, of course, is our Moemish of the week, as you can see in this photo. For why? He's handing over donkey carts. His department. Oh, peeps. Oh, we live in a world of the so-called 4th Industrial Revolution. And here we have ANC ministers, or MECs, douchebags, handing out donkey carts, people. Oh, man. Nonetheless, he makes the list for Moemish of the week. Oh my goodness, nearly 800,000 Rand on donkey carts. Let me read very quickly this piece in The Independent, which wrote up the story. And you can see why these donkey carts were being handed out. Of course, the piece is quoting the spokesperson for the department, who basically says the following. The carts were procured for a total of 780,000 Rand, inclusive of the 3-year maintenance plan. LOL. As part of the contract with the department, the service provider will maintain the carts for the next 3 years at no cost to the owner, and of course at cost to you, the taxpayer. The carts come in 2- and 4-seater versions, with the 2-seater version having cost the department 32,500 Rand, and of course the 4-seater version having cost 45,500. End of quote. Hey, Mensa. Hey. Hey, my dad. Okay. Moving on, and the second Moemish of the week is Robin Smith, a 67-year-old chap who had defrauded Old Mutual. Now, why? Why is Robin Smith a Moemish of the week? It seems like such an abstract choice. Well, this dude, having not only defrauded Old Mutual back in 1999, then went on the run and effectively was on the run for near on 2 decades, 20 years plus on the road. Where was he caught? Let's quickly read this piece in EWN. Now, on Wednesday, the Hawks charged a 67-year-old Robin Smith with fraud after he took his late father-in-law's identity. Goodness me. He and his 59-year-old wife, Alice Boshoff, were living in a quiet life in the Garden Route for the past 23 years after allegedly scamming Old Mutual in 1999. Oh, guys, do not do this. Do not steal. The fact that this man would rather have lived a life where he stole, allegedly, since I need to use that language, 1.9 million Rand. If you really break it up over the last 23 years, what? That's just under, what, 80,000 Rand a year? Hardly seems worth it, and really no crime should ever be worth it. But with him now being behind bars after 23 years on the run, he is our Moemish of the week. All right, that's it for this episode of Vuka Nazo. This is the Friday edition of the show. Happy Sabbath to those of you who are observant and you keep Shabbat. And other than that, happy weekend, people. Have a great weekend. With that being said, remember, you can find us here on Vuka Nazo at our website at bigdaddyliberty.com. There, of course, you can pledge some support to the channel. We are wholly indebted to you who are subscribers, who are becoming guys who put aside 100 Rand a month for the show. Muchos gracias to you guys. With that being said, I'll see you on Sunday at 8 p.m. for Liberty and Friends. I wonder what will be our topic this week. I know you guys enjoyed the show last week. Boop, there is the thumbnail there. We'll have another contentious issue to chat about this weekend. With that being said, I'll also see you next week, Monday, bright and early, as we do weekdays from 7 a.m. for Vuka Nazo.